Ken Hill riding this EBR 1190, and got some cool stuff for it to go play with. Got to ride it at Chuckwalla a couple weeks ago. Rode it all stock, put some tires on it, had a blast on it. Got down to a pretty okay lap time. I'm all right with it. But realized that I was handicapped with a few things, and of course I want to go quicker, right? Who doesn't want to go quicker? So I called up EBR and said, hey, what can you guys, what do you guys have for this thing? And they have some bitchin' stuff for the bike that literally bolt right on and made the bike so much better. So I did a few things. One, gearing was pretty tall, so I got some gearing for it. It went from a 41 to a 44 here at Chuckwalla. And today's conditions aren't super great to test some of the stuff, running around at an okay pace, but went from a 41 to 44. I'm very happy with that change. Wheelbase wise, I'm not sure about that yet, because we pushed the wheel up pretty far, so I'm not until I get up to a little bit better pace, I'm not sure. Went with the race ECU and the exhaust tips that EBR has, and God, so easy to do. It was literally a 15-minute job to put the stuff on, calibrate, do a couple calibrations, put the stuff on, done. So super easy to do. And then the other thing that we did was a shock. So EBR has a Showa prep shock for the bike, and we took off the stock shock, put on the EBR Showa shock, and some significant differences with that shock. The shock is quite a bit longer than the stock shock, 10 millimeters longer. So when you put that on the bike, the rear ride height was pretty dang tall. So I was a little bit worried about that. But of course the spring's preloaded less, and so the dynamic height ends up being fairly close. And so we made a couple of little adjustments there on ride height, and got to ride it today, and the shock is very, very good. It's funny, I rode the bike and literally didn't touch the front end. The front end was so good, didn't have issues with the front end. And now the shock's better than the front end, so I've had to tweak the front end a little bit. I've raised the front to help balance out the little bit of ride height with the back with the shock, and a couple little things with the clickers, but not that much. So overall, got to go ride it. Gearing, so much better. I can use third around here, don't even have to use second gear around here. Use third, go to fourth, almost have to go to fifth on the back straight, so I'm pretty okay with that on the gearing. The ECU was huge. So anybody riding these bikes, the ECU, yes, get in line, do whatever you got to do to get one of the ECUs. What's interesting is when I rode it stock, there was a little bit of a gap between 6,000 to 7,000 in the power, and it wasn't that the power's flat, it's just when it got to 7, the thing revved out quite a bit better. Now there's 0 step, it's strong everywhere. As in on the back straight, go to 4th gear, go over the little crest, and the thing wants to wheelie in 4th gear, and I'm like, okay, got something there. So power-wise, it actually doesn't feel faster. It's just that there's no step between 6 to 7. It just pulls. So really fun there. I was just telling one of the other instructors here that you come off a corner, you're 3rd gear, 4th gear, and you're like, oh my gosh, here comes the next corner so quickly. It doesn't feel like you're going fast, but trust me, you're getting it. So overall, super easy things to put on. Didn't take me long to put any of the stuff on. A couple little adjustments, put the shock on, raised the front end, gearing, ECU, exhaust tips. Awesome. So super fun bike, and can't wait for the weather to clear up and go ride it some more.